Lads! Welcome back to Fusion YGO, and today I am bringing you my take on Orcust. I promised you guys this on Twitter, so if you want to be a part of the polls when I'm doing deck profile or whatever other videos I'm thinking about doing for you guys, and I post out a poll to do it, you guys can vote over on the twit. It's down in the description below, along with all of my other links and affiliations and blah 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 blah. But today we're going to be going over Orcust. And if you would like to see a combo tutorial of this deck, let's smash that like button. Let's get 50 likes on this video. Our goal is 250 subscribers by the end of the month of May. And if we can hit that, we'll be doing a giveaway. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let's cut all the shenanigans and let's get right into this deck profile for Orcust in 2020. Okay, starting out with the monster lineup. We have, of course, triple copies of Orcust Nightmare. Nightmare dumps all the things that you need. It is Foolish Burial for the archetype. We don't run Foolish Burial in the deck itself, mostly because we need the bodies, and I just don't have space in this version of the deck. But triple Orcust Nightmare, followed by triple copies of Orcust Symbol Skeleton, Monster Reborn. Gotta have to play it. And then one of the most important cards in the archetype now is double copies of Brass Bombard. Bombard isn't... Brass Bombard is the new Orcust Nightmare. It's part of the Orcust combo now. So in order to pull it off, you do need it. It's just not as good as Nightmare because we don't have access to things like... we don't have access to Hardcore anymore. So this is the best we can do. We gotta hope that we open up one of our starters, and we have to hope that we open up one of our Orcust names. And that's the only real way we can pull it off anymore, which is unfortunate, but they had to hit consistency somehow. 2 copies of World Legacy World Wand. World Wand is insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain! World Wand lets you recycle them from the banished pile to the field, and then you recycle itself. You never want this to be banished. You always want to have at least 1 live and in your deck, which is why I run 2, so you don't hit it off of Gizmek and cry. And then, of course, speaking of Gizmek, we have a Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentine Skyblaster. I love this card. Honestly, it reminds me of Power Rangers. I think that's why I like the card's artwork so much. It's a really powerful card in the grind game. And it comes up clutch because it is a level 8, which you will see is a big theme of this deck. Moving on, I play a Supplementary Engine. This little engine, honestly, gives you a way to blow through your opponent's field. With the basic scrap combo, you are always going to be able to get rid of 2 cards if you pull it off. This is 2 copies of Machina Citadel. Citadel is Raigeki on your opponent's side of the field, and it works with a card in the extra deck, which we'll go over when we get there. 2 copies of Air Raider. Air Raider is good for going first. It gives you a little bit more versatility. Summoning Machina monsters from your deck. 2 copies of Machina Fortress. This just lets you get rid of cards in your hand to be able to summon itself from the graveyard, or summon it from your hand using itself and something else, just basically helping get big bodies on the board. And if you're going against something like Shadal Winda, this will help you get over it. 1 copy of Irradiator. Irradiator is Big Boy Cannon. This guy summons things back from the graveyard, which your normal target is going to be 1 copy of Machina Possessorage. Jesus, I can't speak. Possessorage allows you to bounce a card, a spell and trap card, by bouncing a Machina monster from the field. So you can bounce your fortress back to your hand, bounce a spell or trap, and it gives you a 3rd way to interrupt your opponent and to get rid of back row. So that's why I like that. And that's it for the Machina package. Next up is your starters. Of course, triple copies of Scrap Recycler, and what that means is Scrap Golem. This is just the scrap package. I've been playing around with Orthos as well, but I ended up going with a different engine and like a different couple of cards entirely. Scrap Recycler is insane, dumping at whatever you need. It is a 1-card Orcust combo, or well, it's a 2-card Orcust combo now with a card that's next in the engines. So that, and then we're running 2 Mathematicians. This card is just an additional starter, and if it's destroyed by battle, you get a draw. And it helps you play around things like There Can Only Be One. Not a common card that's seeing play right now, but it is still a very powerful card, and this helps you deal with it. And then finally, 1 Jet Synchron. This is for the Orcust combo, so 1 jet synchro. Moving on to spells and traps. We are one-shotting this today, can you tell? Jeez. First up is going to be triple copies of Machina Redeployment. This card lets you search out your Machina stuff. That's why you don't want more than 2 of any of them. Redeployment lets you search out what your missing pieces are going to be, and if you already have one of the pieces you need, you can use this to get Possessorage back to your hand from your deck to force back row, which is always super nice. After that, the next card we're running is our Going Second cards, so triple copies of Urgent Schedule. This card is absolutely bonkers, and because of what we're able to play as other supplementary cards, this allows us to be able to go second not only effectively, but aggressively. And it gives you 6 cards to work with in your opening hand, which actually increases the consistency of the deck. Building it to go second, I think, is honestly the way to go moving forward. And Urgent Schedule allows you to do that as a 1-card scrap combo. It is a, with this and Orcust Nightmare, it's a 2-card combo that is absolutely bonkers. Which, if we hit that light goal, I will show you. Next up, your Going Second cards continue. 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice, 2 copies of Twin Twisters. Okay, so Forbidden Chalice you can substitute out with Infinite Impermanence. I play this instead of Dark Ruler No More for one simple fact. If I lose the die roll and I'm playing another Going Second deck, Dark Ruler No More does nothing for me. So I want to make sure that I have cards that work. I don't have any Infinite Impermanences at the moment, but Forbidden Chalice does the same thing. You can set it, you can abuse it going first or second, and it just helps you play through monster effects like Winda that lock you out of special summoning or what have you. Twin Twisters is to pop back row if you're going against something like Eldritch or Mystic Mine or whatever. These are 5 cards that are absolutely must-haves in the deck. Next up, your Orcust cards. So 1 Orchestrated Return. You can bump this to 2 by cutting something else that you would like to cut. You can cut one of your like Mathematicians, you can cut Possessorage, whatever. Orchestrated Return, I like it as a 1-of because it's searchable draw power, and because we're playing a Going Second 40-card deck, it's not as important. 1 copy of Orchestrated Babel, and 1 copy of Orcust Crescendo. Babel is good when you go first. Crescendo is actually what I set going second. That sounds really weird, but if you're not able to OTK them, like you don't have the perfect way to out them, or they have a couple of ways to interrupt you, you can set this to basically stop them from ending you so you can kill them on your next turn. So this card actually comes in clutch because your goal end board is very different than what normal Orcust players are going to be doing, because I have to shake it up a little bit, right? Alright, next into the extra deck. This is not a budget deck, just by the way. Triple copies of Galatea. Galatea is the heart and soul of the extra deck and the main deck. This card, if this card was hit to 1, this probably would have hurt the deck a whole lot more. Harp Horror being banned honestly hurts the deck a lot too, but I think if this went to 1, Harp Horror could come back to 1. It would change the composition of the deck for sure, but this card's incredible. 2 copies of Dingirsu. Dingirsu is the second strongest monster in the extra deck. Not in terms of power, but in terms of like what it can do. Its protection effect helps you with Machina Citadel. It's easy to summon out. It's going second. You just send something to the graveyard, which is incredible. Being able to send things non-targeting wise is great, and Dingirsu helps you do that. So part of the scrap combo would be you summon this guy, and then you've popped 2 cards on your opponent's field. Then Lungirsu, and I'm actually running Orcustrian. Orcustrian is insane. When it's linked, it can't be targeted or destroyed. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, which allows you to abuse something like Machina Citadel, which will target it, destroy it and everything on the field with less attack than it. But because it can't be destroyed, it can be targeted, so it destroys everything, but it stays live, which is absolutely insane. All you have to do is put Machina Citadel somewhere where Orcustrian points to. Simple. And then Lungirsu is just incredible removal. 1 Scrap Wyvern, it's part of the scrap combo. IP Masquerena, it's part of going first. You have to play it to go first. And if you're not able to kill them going second, you can get stuff off your board, make IP, and be able to do stuff on your opponent's turn. 1 Christian Halki Fibrax. Christian Halki Fibrax is the new Nightmare Unicorn for Orcust. It gets out Bombard whenever you need to, and with Jet Synchron, it just makes it a little bit more consistent. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. If you're able to do the scrap combo, you can typically summon Nightmare Phoenix if you choose to, and you can co-link it with Scrap Recycler or Scrap Wyvern, be able to discard something, pop another back row, and draw a card. So if you don't have your full combo, you're able to break up your opponent's stuff, and you're able to draw cards. Unicorn is just really good removal with IP going first. Topologic Zeraboros, Jesus Christ. Zeraboros is just insane in this deck because you banish so much stuff. A Boral Sword, it just helps you end games. And finally, this is why it's not budget, 1 Apollousa. Apollousa's insanity. This card just stops so many things. It really helps you when you're going first. In games 2 and 3, this card becomes a little bit more important because it can stop your opponent from like Nibiruing you or things like that. But normally, your goal is to go second anyway, so you don't really care about that. And that's going to be it for the main and extra. I'm not going to show you the side because the side is up to your personal preference. Dark Ruler No More, I will tell you, is in mine because I like if I lose game 1 for whatever reason, I know I'm making them go first, and I know I'm siding in Dark Ruler No More, and I'm able to decide, okay, am I playing a deck that plays back row? If the answer is no, then I can get rid of my Twin Twisters, and now I've got triple Dark Ruler No More basically for free, and it's not changing anything in the deck. You can put in things like Evenly Matched, but that gives up your battle phase, and your goal is to kill your opponent outright. You have a lot of options in this deck, and in this side deck. So, this is just my take on it. Remember, 25 likes, and we get this deck a combo tutorial. And if we hit 250 subscribers by the end of the month of May, we will have a giveaway. And then for Ricardo, Rico, I know I have to send you that thing with the virus outbreak. We had to postpone shipping. I will be shipping that out as soon as I get a chance. I do have it set aside. I did not forget you. I have your message saved and screenshotted so I can send it to you. So, just so you know, I have not forgotten about you, my friend. But we will be doing giveaways as soon as we hit that 250 subscriber mark, 25 likes, and you guys get a combo tutorial. We'll see you guys in the next one. Good fun, and have luck.